Get it. Alex, how was today? How was yesterday? Uh, what's going on in the markets and why are we not seeing a dump? We hit previous resistances. We were talking about, yesterday we were talking about maybe not breaking out of it, having that retracement. I think we had that retracement already on plate. What do you see it from now? Let's see it.
Let's see it. Thanks, brother. Also, someone asked what indicator should I use for scalping. We can go over that too. Um, I am sick, but I'm going to push through it. Uh, I don't know. Over last night, I got like a really bad cold, really weird. But let's do it. Let's do it. I am long. So this morning I don't trade. I typically I have an appointment in the morning on Wednesdays. So privy to this information. Obviously, we pumped up last night. We consolidated sideways. Everybody's like, "Oh, bull flag! Here we go, off to the races." Um, for me, that's wishful thinking, especially when you have all of this. I mean, like so much liquidity. Like I'm only on the 15-minute time frame, but we have so much liquidity on the way up here. It's it's due for a correction. However, this morning, easy trade setup. Okay, I'm currently long. I can share that with you guys right now. Currently long off the order block in the 786 down below here. So I'm currently in this long, given and advanced in my Discord. 71 589. I gave 505 level to the Discord. Now, very easy here. Why was this easy? Well, simply price is coming down into this area, right? So you're getting this rollover, and you can take the breakout trade too, which is another way of trading this. However, you lose critical support here. Clearly, you break down here. Okay, and this is right around 7:30. We did get GDP numbers coming in a bit bearish this morning at 8:30, and that continued to roll over the market. So what are we doing? We're setting traps on the for this thing to come down and bounce. Because why? We're pretty bullish right now, right? If we're looking at the trend, we're trying to get long at the right place, right? So for me, if you're using some of your indicators here, we can go on a higher term time frame, like a 1 hour, and see here. This is a lot of general liquidity. When price stalls out here, it creates an order block, right? And you can see the loud order block here. Now, whenever you see a loud order block, especially on a higher term time frame, and it's this big, you got to understand that this order block is it needs to be broken down into smaller pieces. For me, as a short-term time trader, I would I would like to get in here. I don't want to miss it. Okay. So when I identify that there's an order block here, yes, I put the order block thing down here, but I know where to separate it, right? So I know the bottom of the order block will be filled if we come down here, but I also have a buy level here. Now, what I've done as soon as I got home is like in the nick of time. So we go in here and we go to impulse one, which is right here, which is a push up here. Okay, impulse one. We bounced perfectly last night off our golden pocket. Okay, this was an easy long last night that we looked to trade. Very easy long last night. And then we came back, we held support, and then we've just fizzled out overnight. Asia didn't do anything to us. Okay, but an easy golden pocket. So if the golden pocket has been taken, I'm immediately interested in my 786, which is where I took this trade off of. Also understanding that this is a giant order block. Okay, big level. So where is the liquidity on this level? So if I'm zooming in here and I look at the price action, well, I can see exhaustion in the last little breakout retest OC to the upside, right? So this would be a retest of previous highs, 786 order block. Okay, so multiple things pointing to this area in here, allowing me to really narrow down this key area for a bounce. Okay, I know this is going to be an area that I want to look for a bounce because I'm looking for a long this morning. because of trend, because of sentiment. Everybody is very bullish right now. They're buying the dips, as they say. So I want to get on that train. Okay. I'm sure there's, if you go on, the 8-minute dynamic reactor has been absolute fire. Let's see if it called it. This is what I would use if I'm looking for trend-based scalping, is the 8-minute dynamic reactor. Also answering one of your questions there. If you're trending, so it didn't call it here. We are just getting above it right now. But if you are trending, the 8-minute dynamic reactor, when you're trending in an uptrend aggressively, look at this thing, bang, bang, bang. Very easy longs, okay? Also a high enough time frame where it's being respected. So you came back to it here. You don't want to go on like a 1 minute, because then you're going to have the dynamic reactor, weaving in and out. You want to find it where it's finding it as support, okay? That's going to be key. On your time frames. The 12-minute works as well too, less signals, but a little bit more strong too, especially in a trending environment. Okay, you can see here when you flatten out, as soon as you flip, it's bullish sign to get going. Okay, so you're trying to get above it right now and hold it as support, which is pretty, pardon me, which is pretty good. Okay, so we took the long trade here. Whoa, look, it's coming against us now. That's all right. Stop loss at entry right here. I've taken profit twice. I've taken 25% off the bounce, and then I have taken another 25% off here. So I am out. You might want to look to add here, possibly. Not looking to take this trade just yet. Not just yet. I want to see strengths, but grabbing people who are getting long late here. That's what typically is going on. So with Bitcoin right now, zooming out on our 4-hour, getting rid of all of my organized spaghetti, because mine is organized. OC's, on the other hand, I don't know, man. This guy is.
It's my inner 3 year old, right? And that's a wolf.
Oh man, we love you, bro. We love you. So yeah, when looking at this, like on a 4-hour, we have lots of liquidity, and lots of liquidity. Okay, so typically it gets taken. However, this is a very much up only kind of trend here. Is this a 5 wave? I don't know. I'm not here to say that. So we were talking about this yesterday, where this is a 5 wave, there'd be one more leg. Okay, there'd be one more leg going up here. Otherwise, this is the ABC, like impulse 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we wait here. What we're looking for is some sort of correction, right? So we got our correction in here, 1, 2, 3, bang, double bottom, push out, right? Now we've gone up only. So typically we're looking to isolate where price is going to retest. The first place I'm always going to look for price to come back to is the previous high. Okay, I'm always going to look at this area here as a key area for where price is going to return to. Does that mean it's going to happen? Not necessarily. Secondly, breaking it down, swing low to swing high. We have an established high now, so I can identify two things. I can identify where my golden pocket is. Okay, give it a little bit of wiggle room. I can identify where my 382 is for an aggressive bounce continuation upwards. All right, this is going to be numero uno when we get an aggressive bounce. If we look at this range here, when we blasted off and continued, right? We look at this range here, right? We go 382 on this low to high, right? We can see that we had a perfect 382 retest before blast off, okay? That would have given you the low for that range, okay? So don't underestimate these levels. They work very well, okay? And a 382 is an aggressive bounce. So we were able to get long on this twice, which was absolutely lucrative. I jumped in a swing long at 68,002 for continuation, and that is still open. So we're still holding that on a different exchange, and we'll see if it does continue. If we do get back down to these highs here around 69,400, I will be looking to close that trade. I have taken a tiny bit out, not a lot. It's more of a swing trade, looking for a breakout if we do get it. Okay, that doesn't mean that we can't come down. I do think everybody is a little bit too bullish right now. So we got the election coming our way. We have interest rates. We had GDP today. We have CME. Is it CME or C? I think CME on tomorrow. So we have lots of data coming out, and we have unemployment, I think, on Friday. So there's a lot of things going on with with the price action. So we're really trying to isolate price right now. We have our key areas there, right? Looking for bounces throughout. So I'm gonna just add these to the chart. This is how I do it, right? So I'm just showing you how I do it and how I keep my charts organized so that I can look for potential areas to get long, short on, yada yada yada. If we're going into a near term thing, we're looking at I'm really looking at this 382 of being a significant level to hold. Okay. And also like looking at this too generally, right? We have our all-time high right here, right? 74,000 all-time high. We've continued to push here. We're flagging out. So for, basically looking at this as a flag, we can see here just a nice little flag. We're looking for a breakout retest. So you can be looking for this and out, right? But right now we understand that, hey, we have created a lot of pockets of where price wants to return to before possibly heading up. Okay. So right now it's for us to understand that, hey, we're probably going to correct somewhat. But because this is such an up only environment, is that we typically want to be favoring longs. That's why I got long this morning off of this low. And that's why I will hold this long from 68,000 here for continuation if we are going to continue. There is still a lot of liquidity up here, around 74,000. Okay, so there's still a lot of people who are still in shorts up here. So it's very much still a target, and then I think we correct. But that's just my thoughts, and hopefully that helps you guys on your trading journey. And then I see there's a lot of questions in the chat. I'll read them, and then hopefully I can answer them better to my ability. Okay. What are you looking at, OC?
No,
My nose is
I'm
so bad
talking
right
to
now.
the CEO right now of ChartPrint. I'm saying that everybody's going crazy for a lifetime membership. So for lifetime membership, and
You're giving me a
I'm
lifetime
asking him,
membership?
what is it?
Do I get a lifetime membership too?
I don't know. Maybe if I win at Halo, I'll give you a chance.
I'll play I'll play with one hand or something.
You'll give it to your son, right? So I can have a chance to
He'll
win
whoop your
that.
ass anyways. Come on.
Oh man, here's a couple of things that I want to answer. I want to also answer directly to Smokey. Smokey, let me just do a little bit of warning here. I'm that uncomfortable friend that will always try to give you the honest truth, whether if it's what you want to hear or not. All right. So just bear in mind why, because my job is to get you into a profitability state, or at least to give you value, right? And I believe that value is given by doing a constructive criticism. If you're okay with that, give me the thumbs up, and and then I'll answer your question. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Before I jump into my charts, because I will be giving you a couple of things, let me read here. I don't know how much thumbs up. I don't know how to. Oh, don't worry, that's fine. There's just a little emoji right there. But you're saying, sir, can you show a simple strategy with support resistance along with liquidity? I try to. There you go. Nice. And then try to use support and resistance daily and enter on the 1 hour. So here's the thing. You already have a preconception of what you want me to do. That's fine for the beginner, right? Here, we're trying not to lead you with the same thing that you'll see all across the YouTube, which is, hey, I got this magical strategy that you need to do 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna get rich, and then you're gonna be buying your Lambo tomorrow, right? That is not it. Nonetheless, you have a point there, and you already have things that might be making sense for you, right? The thing is that we try to move towards what has worked for a professional trader. I trade professionally, Alex trades professionally, and also, I mean, we also have another guest and part of the team that trade professionally, right? Usually, there's a difference between strategies. What you will call a strategy, like what you will find in YouTube, it is a 1, 2, 3 step execute strategy, which is a beginner strategy. Let's just call it a newbie strategy, right? But the issue with that, it is that you're encased within, if it's simple, well, then usually it only works within a market section, usually in ranges, right? Or usually what you're heavily trending. When you start going outside that ranging zone or the market changes, that's when you get started getting wrecked. All right. What we're giving here is a couple of rules. Those rules would guide you through whether we're bullish, are we bearish, what are you going to be favoring one over another one, and then what's going to be your entry point. For me, it's as simple as flip of the ribbon, add support for long, flip of the ribbon, add resistance for short. That is the last nail in the coffin, all right? But there's so many other instruments. We talked about that yesterday on one of our classes, but I'll explain a little bit more on that. Another thing that I will say it is that make sure that you're using whatever makes sense for you, right? Let me give you an example here, and I'm going to be dramatizing this. Of course, that I am my post is master instructor, so I need to know everything about all of the indicators. I can give you what you are requesting me, but here's the deal: try to be dynamic. And this is because you also mentioned, by the way, well, every time I use all of the futures of the indicators, I'm confused more. Well, then, let me be your psychologist. Well, then don't, right? I mean, I mean to say with all due respect, right? The thing is, keep it simple. One of the rules that we have here is layer out your indicators. I have a bunch of indicators put into my charts because I need to show them and teach them. But I usually recommend what is called a three-layer strategy. A three-layer strategy, yes, it can be read as 1, 2, 3 step execute, but it's more towards a professional strategy, which is, hey, first, look at for one or two indicators that give you kind of like a basic parameters, and then use at least another one, right? Another layer to give you confirmation. All of them or most of them should be pointing at the same area. I'll give you a dead simple strategy that you don't even need to know how to trade or anything like that. But my point is, do not overcomplicate stuff for yourself, right? We have a piece for everybody. You don't need to use them all. Use what makes sense for you. And let me be straightforward here. And let me repeat this, there are no suite or there are no indicators that are going to be better than yourself, that better than your brain, right? I mean, how old are you? Let me guess, 25, 36, something around that, right? So talking about that, you have a 35, 40, 41 year old brain, full pack of experience. And man, you're still alive, right? I mean, that requires a lot, not from luck, but taking good decisions, right? So not sticking your fingers into the electric socket, not eating stuff that you're not supposed to, and then going for the full process of education and developing, right? So never underestimate yourself and use the indicators as tools. So make them add to your brain and not fight your brain. Let me do a little bit here of an example, a live example, and to see if I can answer your question. All right. So once again, I'm gonna say this with quotations, like you are forcing me to use a specific thing that for me might not make sense. All right. Nonetheless, here is my thought of process. So you're telling me, use something with, let me go back up. Here we go. I try to use support and resistances. Perfect. I think that's a great indicator. Use a liquidity. Perfect. I think that's a great indicator. But then you're telling me daily and enter 1 hour. All right. Let's try to make that work. All right. Let me share my screen. Let me even do something that I'm not familiarized with. I already have my analysis here on Bitcoin. Let's see if that loads. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is just move this to the side and then randomly stop, right? Stop. There we go. Oh. Well, that's it. That was it. All right. Let me just clear this up for a little bit here. And then, well, this is not at all a good example because we don't have enough. Let's just do another one. Oh, we have NVIDIA. All right, let's do NVIDIA. Just because it has much more history and it's also a little bit better for analyzing. So you're telling me, and here's where things started. Look at my indicators, right? Look at how many I have of those indicators, right? Look at that. Most of them aren't exactly the same. In fact, I only have 2 or 3, 4 indicators in total. To be honest, 5, which is market oracle, right? Look at that. It repeats twice. Then I have market dynamics, one, two, three, and four. It repeats four times, but it's still all just other indicator. Then volume profile, liquidations, and oscillator right down here, right? So you can see there's only five indicators that I'm using, but what I'm trying to do here, instead of turning them all on at the same time, man, I cannot read that. This is madness to me, right? That doesn't mean that the indicators are bad. That doesn't mean that that I'm looking at something horrifying. But this is just not the way that our brains process information. At least not mine, right? I kind of like a static information overload, or what we also call analysis paralysis, right? Then what do you look at, right? Maybe this one is saying something, this other one is saying another thing, and because you're trying to catch them all like Pokemon, right? You cannot concentrate in whatever it's important and makes sense to you. Let me give you kind of like a pathing here, and of course I'm gonna be going the way that you asked me. The first thing I'm gonna be doing is looking whether if I'm bullish or bearish, right? And remember, let's get started first with your brain. Then we're gonna be adding the indicators, because the most important part here is you. You already have a ton of information. Your brain is absolutely beautiful, and we need to start building that trust in ourselves, in our capabilities, and then do just a little bit of back test with indicators, right? That will give us a better chance of success. So first of all, I'm gonna be doing the trend. How do you measure a trend? A trend line, that's simple, right? I don't think that many people tell this. I know it's kind of obvious, but the best tool for trends, it is a trend line. That's it. When is a trend finished or done or over? Or when are we having a trend shift? Well, you could be telling me volume, VWAP, cross of things, cross of this, whatever, right? But the that simple answer is when the trend line is broken. When do you confirm it? At a breakout retest, right? So there we go. Trend line. This is it, right? No, I'm not even looking at to be perfect, right? And then when am I going to be comparing? When is this trend over? When I break the trend line and I close below. When am I going to be going for an entry? As I retrace entry point, off you go. Did I needed any indicators to know that? No, right? That's simple. Simple math, exactly. Love it. So going from there, if you allowed me to suggest, learn a trend based strategy, right? Just learn about trends. That's it. Trends is your friend, and trend lines is your best ally, right? Same thing here. Let me give you an example. Look at that. When was the trend over? Well, then you can absolutely say it, as Alex usually love to look at this liquidity swipe, right? But this is just only a, hey, we are a little bit more experienced. We already know we are watching for the bus coming our way, and we're gonna move slightly aside so we don't get hit by the bus. But what is the actual thing here? Breakout. You see? When did the trend change? At the breakout. That's simple, right? You don't need to catch this. You just need to catch here and right here. You just need the meat, not the bones, right? Well, then, Alex mentioned something that he likes buns. He likes a hot dog, but he kind of like it goes for when we're ranging, right? Let me give you that example because I think it's a great analogy. Like for example, right here we can also analyze that we're somewhat in a range, right? You can argue it, but you cannot. What you cannot argue is that we are bing bonging the hell out of this, right? So usually Alex, man, thank you for that analogy. I think it's fantastic. He draws a sausage here, right? And he also draws the bonds. So we want to be usually in the bonds. We want to stay away from the sausage party. All right. So also knowing that, you start looking at areas of entry and areas of exit. Right there. Have we even used any indicators at all? No. We're just losing our brains. We're using things that are funny because that recalls or calls back that memory that will build up, right? When Ozzy says sausage, it makes me laugh. Oh man. Broken English, broken English. There we go. So now that we understand what's going on here, let's just do the bare basic and then we add the indicators that you asked me to add, right? In fact, those the one you chose are one of my favorites, and this is kind of like where I base my strategy, one of my strategies, right? So, trend line. What is the opposite of a trend line? Well, we don't know, but we can actually think outside the box and then we just put it up here. And guess what? We have a channel, right? Which is a trend line on steroids, right? So right here, we can start drawing the bonds, the sausage, and the next bond. You see what's your entry? At the bonds. So can you be for sure that we're gonna bounce from here? No, but at least you already have the support, right? Now we start adding stuff. Now, how do I confirm if I'm bullish or bearish? First, you need to configure a market oracle. And look at that. Are we bullish or bearish? Well, let me give you the heads up. We're bullish. Right here, I'm going to be giving you a couple of things that I use on the indicators to confirm my brain that I'm not hallucinating, because the only thing that I will be against my brain, it is oh man, I forgot about this. Alex, how do you say it? Your bias. Your bias, right? We all have a bias, and we need to make sure that we're not falling into a bias, all right? What would that bias be? Oh, only up, right? That being bullish doesn't mean that I cannot have a retracement, all right? In fact, there is this big secret. Where do you buy into a bull trend? You buy at a retracement. You buy at the support, right? And how do you confirm there? Well, then, are we green on candles? Yes. Do we have a strong signal? Yes. What is our prime score? It's positive, highly positive, right? So we're bullish. In something important, our consolidation score is basically how much are we consolidating in the last itty bitty part of the trend. Highly consolidation. But also the last number is 10 that you most likely are never gonna see. That's why we call it a unicorn number, because it's mythical, right? But what comes after 10? It comes 1 or 0. 0 means no consolidation. What is no consolidation? What's the opposite of consolidation? Trending or trending, right? So we're saying that we are highly consolidating, but at the end of the consolidation, where do you think we're gonna be breaking to? Let me give the heads up now. All right. Why this? Oh, I know why. Sorry, new keyboard. I'm just not drawing stuff what I'm supposed to. So right here, you have your oscillator. Oscillator, in this case, measures momentum, right? Just like in real physics. We're going to be measuring mass, which interprets as volume, and then speed, which can be interpreted as something like money flow, right? So the combination of both, you're going to have a much more sober prediction. This is the zero line. This is just your threshold, right? So it's just like going to a highway. How fast is fast? How slow is slow? That depends who you ask. But if you get the government giving you a threshold, that will be maximum 100 kilometers per hour, right? Or 60 miles per hour. Well, then now that you have a threshold, you can say, all right, if the maximum is 60, well, then somewhere in the middle will be 30, right? So you have a threshold area. You have a consensus to know what's fast and what is slow. The same thing is your zero line. So everything above the zero line will be, we do have momentum, right? Everything below the zero line, we do not have momentum. So we are losing momentum, right? And we are getting at support. Are we gonna hold that support? You tell me, give me a guess. Yes, really, we are. Why? And by the way, whatever answer you're giving me, that's great. That's fine. Everybody has a different perspective, right? Let me just zoom in here. We are. Well, I'm gonna be telling you that with the information that we have, I'm gonna be saying no, we're not gonna be holding that support. Because the support will be directly proportionate whether we do have or we do not have momentum. Exactly. Because we are below the zero line, which DB Cooper mentioned is as the 50, because we have another one which is a 50 line. But yes, because we are below the zero line, most likely we are not going to be holding this support. So we have two options. We either jump in just in case we have an early flip of the ribbon, but that depends on you, and that's because we are bullish, all right? In which case, I will be all right. If I feel extra cheesy, if I feel extra risky, let me put a long position at my support area. But because I have low momentum, I want to be moving my stuff very close. I don't want to risk it all, right? Not only that, I'm also going to be using half of a position. Usually, this is a rule of thumb for me. I only risk 3% of my wallet per entry if the stars are aligned. What that means, I have a beautiful setup. I'm confident that the odds are on my side, and then I put a 3% of my wallet. If I'm not 100% sure, well, you will never be 100% sure. But if I don't have that confidence, but I know I'm bullish, I'm going for an entry, but oh man, look at that, losing momentum. Well, then what am I going to be doing instead of a 3%? I'm going to be using a 1.5%. All right, 1.5% right here, and then waiting for that retracement. If I lose it, perfect. That was only half of it. And then what's going to be my next area of support? Dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor is the most important area of support and resistance that you have on your chart. Do not ignore it, but also use it along with your momentum. All right, perfect. Now that we know that, my next entry is going to be right here. As long as I have FOR, 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 flip of the ribbon, right? At where? Remember what I mentioned at the very beginning? FOR at support for longs, FOR at resistance for shorts. All right. So as long, oh come on, this is just killing me. Sorry, a new keyboard, and I have a micro key that I don't know what the hell it does. But let me see, Nvidia. Here we go. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. I rage quit it. All right, Control C then. No, whatever. Where was I? All right, let me just clean this up. So remember, flip of the ribbon, add support for entry long, right? We already am risky here, or I can wait for one candle confirmation. What will that candle confirmation is? Going in here, not losing the trend line, going back up, and in that case, on the next candle close, I will be jumping in here for taking my first TP at previous resistance and then TP2 at the next resistance, right? All right, now that this is the bare bones, this is basics. This is basics. This is only trend and momentum. That's it, right? Now let me clear this up, and we're gonna be adding the indicators that you asked me to. For example, you asked me to have liquidity. Here, if I double click here, you'll see the market dynamics have a ton of things. But in this specific layer, I'm using volume profile, POC, and liquidity zones. All right? Liquidity zones are in the past, but I'm still gonna be looking for the reaction in the future. All right? And then you also asked me to add support and resistances. Oh, where are you? Here we go. In this case, oh, I see what I'm doing. All right, perfect. Support and resistances. So here now, we do the three-layer strategy, all right? At least three layers. So layer one, what's going to be? It's going to be a leading indicator somewhere in the past that give me a higher accuracy that I bounced. So in this case, layer one would be liquidity zones, all right? Layer two, confirmation or something that tells me that layer one is correct or wrong, right? In this case, support or resistance, right? And third, my three layer is gonna be what? Confirmation or triggering. What's gonna be my triggering? FOR based on momentum. Oh, house looks very cool. House? Oh, that's a render, my friend. By the way, I'm a graduate architect specialized on rendering. This is a render. Thank you very much for noticing it. But I will stumble here, but yeah. Boo, I know. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I still have it's a very Mexican house. So just to keep it kind of like a plane, that's why I don't show it. But it has like things all over the place. I'll show it in the future, I promise. But yeah. Yeah. No, well, not that kind of Mexican house. If you haven't noticed, we like to throw shit around here. All right. Love it, my friend. El barrio. Yes, el barrio. Oh,
El
love it. Love it.
barrio, yes.
Yes. Oh, my friend. Let me add to the joke because that is truth. Here in Mexico, we built on top of hopes and dreams. Sometimes I don't even know how things are supported, to be honest. Man, that's crazy. So let me wrap this up and I'll throw it to you, Alex, just so I'm not, this is not a monologue on my side. So right here, we can now start predicting what's going to be my entry. Well, my entry for a short was in here as I had flip of the ribbon. So the flip of the ribbon was a little bit before. So right there, right? Then what's going to be my next entry for long? It's going to be at the retracement when I have flip of the ribbon, right? That is easy peasy. Now, let me show you something that it is less advanced but more practical. Shoot, sorry, but more practical on a strategy. This is the strategy that I called I don't know and I don't care. You need zero. Let me get that. Let me get that. You need zero.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Zero knowledge of trading by using this strategy, for using this strategy, right? I don't recommend having zero knowledge. I do recommend reading a little bit more into it because you're gonna get the heads up in here, right? But here you go. First things first, configure your market oracle. We have a video for that, all right? Then layer out your indicators, and then you just YOLO it, my friend. You just YOLO it. Let's just YOLO it here. All right. First things first. The first indicator. What is this? I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care. Let's just draw on top of it. Important. Always forecast it. All right. Forecasting it's important. Then the next one. Oh, look at that. There's another thing that I don't know and I don't care. This is another thing that I don't know and I don't care. Perfect. Over to the next one. Here, what is it? I don't know and I don't care. What is it? I don't know and I don't care, right? Let's go to the next one. Oh, look at a box, beautiful box. I don't know and I don't care. Another box, I don't know and I don't care. What is this box? I don't know and I don't care. Oh, another box, I don't know in line. I don't know and I don't care, right? So let's just do a couple of boxes. Here we go. Then, oh, another line. What is this? I don't know and I don't care. Another line. I don't know and I don't care. And this other line. I don't know and I don't care. I don't know and I don't care, right? Then the last thing. Oh, another box. I don't know and I don't freaking care. And that's it. Now, you have confluence. The only thing that you need to do is group things up. So let's do it. Like for example, right here, I have a group, right? I have a single itty bitty one there, and then another group in here. Let me ask you a question. Where are you gonna be buying? Where are you gonna be selling? You buy low, you sell high, right? So there we go. The easiest strategy ever with a bunch of confluence without even reading the oscillator, all right? So I think that'll cover it. Smokey, please let me know if you are satisfied with this answer. It was a little bit longer on my side, but I think it was worth going over it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Alex, let me throw it back to you. And
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a lot, but it's all applicable to everybody's strategy. I think it's so important to find what works for you. It's gonna be a journey of finding what works for you, finding what time frames work for you, and then managing risk and creating a strategy that you've back tested. Um, Going over to Celestia. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's an unlock today of like 80% of the supply. Is that true, little fish? I don't know if that's true. I heard that's something correct. Okay. Yeah, so Celestia big unlock today. So what happens when supply gets unlocked, right? So what happens is that typically, people unlock and they're able to sell, right? So I do hold a big old bag of Celestia, okay? Probably over $20,000 worth of Celestia. So for me, but I stake my Celestia and I make a pretty good yield off of it. Nonetheless, coming back and retesting lows, that's what I see. So like anything like this, has gotten beaten up. If we're looking at this on a more of like a daily, right? You had your ramp up. And I do believe Celestia does have great tokenomics and it does solve a problem, okay? It's one of the only ones that does solve I can't remember exactly what. I did a lot of research on this when I was buying it back here, okay? Uh, but it solves one problem that not many things else solve. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's definitely worth a look at. If I'm going to forecast like where if we are going to lose this low, so for me, I would just go from um I would go from sorry right here. I would look at the lowest point of this market right here, okay, and I would go from the low here to the high here, right? And like I would mark out something like this, right? So I have two levels down below if we are going to lose this low. Okay, very easy fib extensions, right? Obviously price is coming down, so I want to keep my areas just below here that I am looking for potential areas to buy. If you're looking to buy or if you're looking for this thing to come back to this area, then these were simple extension levels and they work really well. Like you can use it on um any sort of asset where you're looking for higher prices, lower prices, okay? So you go from low to high here and you can see that we come in and we go to the 2 to 2 perfect look at this perfect 2 to 2 here, okay? First we stop at a 272 creates the high, the 618 creates the low, right? And then your 222 creates the extension level out here. And you can use this for almost anything. I use it a lot for take profit levels. So if I'm looking at a Celestia chart, you can see I have a alert all the way up here at $71 and all the way at $98. So these are potential areas if Celestia goes parabolic and we get an alt season that I'm looking to take profits. And that's simply going from swing high to swing low, putting out extension levels, okay? And I'm front running certain extension levels on the way up, okay? So you can use it both ways, up and down. But for me right now, Celestia is coming back down and it's going to retest $4. That's as simple as I can keep it for you guys. I have an alert set here for, and this is the key, is use your alerts to your advantage. And I've had this alert for quite some time, ever since we put in this high here. Okay. So this is rolling over. As you can see, clearly losing the lows here. We have some support coming in right here at $4.64. That was an order block in here. Okay, but then this is the biggest area of interest in my opinion at $4. Okay, especially if we're supposed to see a rug within the near future, that would be it, right? But right now, bullish divergence. What you're looking for on something like this is you're looking for structure, right? Bullish divergence, higher high, higher low, right? Something like this, right? Pushing out, that would have been a nice long from something like that. And in my community, we have taken quite a few longs on Celestia. I believe we took one from here all the way up. I believe we took one from here all the way up. So we've been trading this too, and in my Discord. So it's been quite lucrative for us. So all I do with any kind of altcoins is I really just set alarms on trend and I wait, right? I wait. It's about being patient with anything like this. Right now, this is a clear rollover, right? So this could be a triple bottom bullish divergence. I don't want to get into this thing until I get something like this that confirms my upward bias, right? I'm not looking to short something like this. What I'm really looking for is structure being formed and continuation, because in my opinion, the move is going to come up, not come down right now, right? And if we want to confirm that, we just simply go over to our Bitcoin dominance. We hit it. Oh, see, we hit it. 60%, right? So doesn't need to go higher. It can, right? Pretty parabolic here, but Bitcoin dominance is flying off the wazoo right now. So looks like continuation to me. But for now, you expect a rotation into some altcoins, and you can see a little bit of it into Ethereum this morning. Okay. Ethereum getting a nice push up where a lot of things are flat. Remember, we talk about the rotation here quite often about how you got Bitcoin, you got ETH and Solana, I would say, and then high, medium, and low. And the rotation from Bitcoin into here, into here, into here, into here, and then back into either Bitcoin or fiat currency, right? So we watched for this rotation. We're getting a little bit excited because we can see Bitcoin looks like it's going to break out, rotation into altcoins. People want to make more yield, make more money off of their Bitcoin. So we watch for this definitely. For me, with any altcoin like this, I'm looking for a break. Like I'm also looking for a long on Beam right now. Okay. Yesterday I gave the Beam long right here in my Discord. That was a nice move we had. Okay. So this was a long trade setup in my Discord yesterday, right? And that absolutely banged. Okay. Took profits, yada yada yada. And we have since trickled down. We're right now at a bounce level on Beam. You could be looking for a potential long here on Beam as well. Something I've given to my community. So if you guys are interested, you might want to take a look at this. But right now, we have bounced off the 786 golden pocket area. Okay. Within this area. Okay. Treat this like an area, especially with swing trades. Okay. And I'm looking for it to find support. You can see it's trickled all the way down right now. So for me, this is creating a lot of liquidity to the downside. Just like when we've moved up here, like this trade we took yesterday was a quick trade, right? But you can see that we have created fair value gaps, uh, liquidity within this area. So typically you want to see this recovered. We are seeing this recovered. So what goes up must come down, but we are looking for continuation out and onwards, especially with the rotation. For me, when I'm hunting for tokens, looking through my list here on the right, you can see that everything, is down, 1, 2%. But the things that are down 5%, the things that are down anything over that, like look at Doge right now. Doge is getting wrecked. Doge is coming back to retest here, right? So this might be the opportunity to get long on Doge, right? If you see bottoming, you see it's been hammered, right? You see it's been hammered down. So now you look for structure for some bullish divergence, some swing failure patterns, and some continuation, right? So these are the opportunities, not necessarily going over to Pepe and being like, hey, let's trade Pepe, even though I took a long here on Pepe and and a long here yesterday or this morning on Pepe too. But I do my spot trading. I do this on spot. So I'll buy like $10,000 worth of Pepe over here, and like even if it does dump a little bit, I mean I can still make my money back. So for me, it's a little bit of a casino, which is fun for me, but it's nothing too risky. Alex, I've I've ground that looking for positive breaks of market structure along with corresponding MACD works really well. Okay, yeah, I like that. Uh, MACD is really good. There's some settings on MACD. I would change my settings to 34 and 13. Makes MACD a lot smoother. Very this is the trick with MACD. Um, Fibonacci numbers, right? 34, 13. It works really well. It smoothens it out. If you want to know MACD trick, that's the MACD trick right there. Um, those are the numbers I use. Back in the day. Back in the day with MACD when I didn't have all these amazing tools at Chart Prime. Okay, so right now it's about being patient, letting the price come to you. There's a whole bunch of things that are looking like good opportunities throughout the market. If we're zooming out on a daily and we're really looking at these things, Jasmine, this looks like a nice spring. Okay. Uh, so you're looking for like Wyckoff accumulation. So you got a nice, mitigation of the lows here, spring out. You could see this, eventually play. That's something to keep an eye on. Arweave, this thing's beaten up quite aggressively too, right? So we're looking for rotation into altcoins. Super has had an amazing move up. This is a little bit overextended. Same with Sui. I bought like $15,000 worth of Sui right here on this dip. I don't know if it's gonna play, but just a little play for myself on spot. Okay. So keeping our eyes on the price. Arbitrum's getting a nice move today. Very much like like Ethereum, right? So layer two, right? So looking for this thing to break out. I own a lot of Arbitrum as well. Okay, so keeping our eyes on the prize and really looking to take advantage of this hopefully rotation into altcoins. But we watched Total 3 to give us some insight, right? We can see Total 3 has, inverse head and shoulders, right? Looking to break out, has yet to break out, has retested this aggressive trend line. Okay, so since we gave all our money back after 7 months of down, we're looking for this thing to continue to break. Okay, this is clearly resistance here. But once we break out of here, rotation is imminent, right? And you can see the same kind of thing with Total 2. This is just minus Bitcoin, right? So you can see ascending triangle. Ascending triangles are really bullish. This could take time, but eventually that's going to pop, right? So keeping our eyes on the prize. I think we want to take advantage of these things, but we also want to practice good risk management, right? That's why a lot of the times when I'm trading a shitcoin like Pepe, I'll buy it on spot, right? Just knowing how to manage your risk, thinking, okay, it can go up from here. It looks promising, but I'm not just gonna degen into something like this, right? I'm also looking at BNB. Okay, let's look at BNB. OC loves BNB. Inverse head and shoulders, right? So for me right now, it's just coming back to the point of control here at 580. Okay, we're looking for 580 to hold and break out. No breakout yet. This is really coiling. So nice price action here. Very big ascending triangle. Very bullish. Very bullish. If you're taking something like this, you're going to all-time highs very easily, right? So waiting for either a breakout retest, right, on BNB, value area high, breakout retest, right, boop, and gone. Or you're looking for a trend line in here to buy the lows. 580 would be the ideal area, and look for this to fly, right? So looking for a rotation. Actually, this is quite a nice setup. I would look at something like this, trying to get back up to all-time highs. That would be a pretty sweet swing trade. So I might share that with my community as well. BNB, I'll take a closer look at it, but I'm going to keep that on my radar. What are you looking at, OC? We got 3 minutes left, bro. Oh, you're muted. You muted.
Oh, so I was kind of like what is it? What is it? What is it? I just lost the trade here. Oh yeah, a couple of minutes here. I just want to go over a couple of basic things. That now that we just talked about strategies, assets, so on and so forth. Guys, stick to basic, right? When you start seeing breakout of the trend, look for lower lows or lower highs. If you have a lower high but not a lower low, you are into a pennant, right? Or something along those lines. Still wait for confirmation, right? Also, do not jollo it in. And if you are 1, 3, 3, 4, oh, got it, the feeble areas, right? Perfect. And also, guys, try to have a healthy portfolio. If you are only crypto, maybe consider having it somewhere that you can host it yourself, and also somewhere that you can do fast movers. Also, remember that if you're fully in crypto, remember to have a little side cash on hand, right? Because guys, crypto is not the future just yet. We are not into the future just yet, right? What I mean here, we had this question asked in the Piper Academy earlier today. What happens if we have a drop on the markets? What happens if you have World War III? How Bitcoin is going to save us is not. It is not. Bitcoin is not even the size of Meta, right? At this point, it's just a toy to rack us up. But it's opportunity for retail to become or to make a life-changing amount of money, all right? Or at least to make a living out of it. But the important thing here is why and how Bitcoin is designed. Bitcoin is designed so when everything crashes, well, Bitcoin needs to respond to the actual market, so it will also crash. That makes it a real world asset, right? But what is Bitcoin designed for is to become scarce and therefore recuperate higher faster than the other assets based on fiat. So it's not that you're not gonna suffer, but you're gonna suffer for less. So food for thought. If you are leveraged, are you gonna hold that drop? And I'm talking about drops now that we are reaching almost all-time highs. Because Alex, you mentioned what is maximum pain?
Maximum pain is up then down.
Up and down. Yeah. So basically fake out to the upside and then dump it on you guys.
And
All right.
then
Exactly.
yes.
So yeah, guys. So just be careful out there. Remember to plan for the worst case scenario. And it's not about knowing, it's about planifying for whatever might be happening. Remember, plan
Hmm.
A, bullish, plan B, bearish. Whatever happens, you already have a plan and you know how to execute it, right? You're not going to be guessing at the last minute. So, other than that, 10:01, Alex, would you like to say the goodbyes today before we wrap things up?
Yeah, have a good day. I mean, come and hang out if you want to do some live trading. Tomorrow morning you can get more of me. Well, I'll be live. I go live 4 days a week. We'd love to have you by, and then we can go and bother OC. It's Halloween tomorrow, so maybe OC will wear his tin hat or something like that, or show us his Mexican house or whatever he has going on behind closed green screens. No, I'm kidding. No, it's been a great class, man. We'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and trade safe out there.
Guys, thanks so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.